So in this video, we're going to do an upgrade to an older laptop here. And this is one of the things I love to do on this channel here, where I take older technology and I try and make something useful out of it. Now, obviously, it's still a useful computer. It's a laptop. It's running Windows 7. Preferably, I would like to have Windows 10 on there, but that's not what we're going to be doing. We're actually going to be turning this into a Linux computer. Now, I have done a Living in Linux series before, which was kind of failed. I was going to do the reboot on the Living in Linux series on an HP laptop, and I actually just ran Windows on it for the longest time. And then I actually got a Dell computer that I did run Linux on, and I've been using it as my daily driver for about 8 months now. But I have yet to share any of that information with you guys, so I wanted to start from scratch with a computer that is older, and we're going to do some upgrades on this computer, and then we're going to run Linux on it, and I'm going to take you through the steps of the process of me using a Linux computer on a daily basis. So we're going to start off with a couple of upgrades on this. First, we're going to upgrade the hard drive to an SSD. This is a 120 gigabyte SSD. It's a PNY CS900 SSD, and it should do the trick what I need on here. Typically, with some exceptions, typically I don't need a lot of space on my computer, so 120 gigs should suffice. Also, we're going to upgrade the RAM on this computer. Now, at the top of the video, I talked about an HP laptop that I bought as my Living in Linux computer, but just ran Windows on it. That has 8 gigabytes of RAM on it. So we're going to take that RAM and we're going to put it into this computer here. Now, the only reason I am not doing the Living in Linux series on that HP laptop is because I've had it for, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 years now, and I used it as my daily driver, and it's still an awesome computer, but I just want to have a little bit of a variety. So I think it's time to let that go to a new owner and start from scratch, and we're going to do it with this ThinkPad here, this ThinkPad Edge. So let me get that HP laptop, and we're going to harvest the RAM out of here and put it in here. So let's get everything set up here. So the good thing about these older laptops, especially these business style laptops, is that they're very user accessible. You can open it up and trade out parts. So we're going to open up both of these here. I really, it might just be this one. So we're going to start off with this panel here because we do have to expose the hard drive bay as well as where the RAM is. So I have yet to open this guy up, and I haven't looked up any documentation on it. All right, so fortunately, that is the only panel that I have to open up because we have the RAM right here, which is going to be very easy to swap out, and then we have the hard drive here, which will be easy, but not quite as easy as the RAM. So we've got this opened up. The good thing is everything looks nice and clean under here. I already took the battery out. I've got the Windows COA covered with some painter's tape here. So I think we're good to go on this. Let's move this off of my towel and get the HP laptop over here. Now, the HP laptop is actually a lot easier to get into. This, you don't have to use any tools with at all. All you have to do is slide this over and pop the back off. Unbelievably easy, and that's why I love this computer. Now, we're going to do a couple of things to prep this, to sell this. Number one, I'm going to take out my SSD that I have in here, but that's for a different video. So the RAM is going to be the same. This has 2 modules of 4 gigabytes of RAM, and the other computer has 2 modules of 2 gigabytes. So we're going to be doubling the RAM on this. So typically, this is very easy. All you just need to do is push the little tabs outward, pull the RAM out. Let's put it to the side. And it's just these 2 tabs on the side. Push them outward and pull it out. So same thing with this. Tab out, pull it out. There we go. Swap these guys in here. And they will only go in one way, so that's good. And just slide them into place. Of course, if you're not familiar, there's a notch on there, so that's going to have to match up. They went in this way on the other computer. I'm going to have to flip them over for this computer here. Put it in, get it in there, and there we go. So we're good to go on that. Might as well take the old RAM and put it in the HP laptop here. Again, we're going to swap these around. There we go. And RAM is always a nice upgrade on a PC, especially these older models here. And of course, all we have to do is button this up. It's been a very trusty computer for many years. So next on the agenda is getting this out of here. This is the caddy for the hard drive. Okay, so for the hard drive, it's actually mounted down with a screw here, but fortunately we already took that screw out, which was this screw here. So it's good to see that that screw is doing double duty, not only holding the back panel of this in, or partially holding the back panel of this in, but it's also holding in the hard drive. So I'm just going to pull the tab over here. It unlocks or unlodges the hard drive in there. And this is a 320 gigabyte hard drive. It does have Windows 7 on it. Now, I typically will rotate my computers, as is evidenced by the HP laptop. So I'm just going to keep this in a box. I'm actually going to keep it in the same box that this came in. And then when I'm ready to turn this loose again, all I have to do is put this back in, and we're good to go for me to sell it with Windows 7 on it. But for the time being, what I need to do is I need to get this drive out of the little caddy here, and there are 4 screws that are holding it in here. So let me get those out. So there we go, solid state drive. It actually comes with a blank in case you need to make it thicker. Now, I don't think I'm going to have to do that, but we'll see if I do. And it actually has some adhesive on there. That way you can make it a thicker drive there. But what I'm going to do, like I said, I'm just going to take the old drive, put it in here, and store it in here. Makes things easy. So the drive is actually more shallow than the other drive when I put it in here. I haven't screwed it into place yet, but the screw holes match up. So if I was going to use this, which I don't have to, I would put it in right there. You know, there's really no need to, so I'm just gonna put that off to the side and maybe use it if I need to down the line. But this should suffice. It's gonna go in this way. Once it's mounted down to this caddy here, everything should be good. So let's get these screws in here. All right, so let's get this thing plugged in here, easy as possible. Just kind of back it in and then forward it into the mounting point there. And that's that. All I need to do now is get this back on. And we have upgraded the computer. Now, obviously, with a fresh, brand new SSD like that, there's nothing on it. There's no Windows, there's no Linux. So we're going to actually have to put an operating system on this computer. So all the screws are tightened down, not too tight. You don't always, you always want to make sure that you don't put the things too tight in there, but everything is nicely packaged up here. I can put the battery back in, and if I remember correctly, I did mess around with this computer very briefly when I fired it up for the first time, and the battery, not a great charge on that. So, maybe I'll invest in a bigger battery. I don't know. We'll see. So, if I had to guess, this battery is dead on here. So I plugged it in, and we're gonna fire this thing up for the first time, and let's just see what it posts to here. So turn it on here. All right, just as I thought, OS not found. So we're good to go though. It pretty much is the way I wanted it to and what I expected at this point. So in the next video, we're going to put the operating system on there. Now I know that Linux, a lot of people do recommend Mint. I might try that. I might go with Ubuntu. That's the one I've been using on my Dell laptop for 8 months now. Again, like I said, I might try something new. We'll see. But that's going to do it for this video. If you have any questions or comments, please post them down below. If you like what you see, please subscribe. If you'd like to help out this channel, you can share this video. You can give me a thumbs up, or you can join my Patreon. All of those things are greatly appreciated. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.